Marcus Aurelius ruled the world and reminded himself daily he would die. The idea I will share at the end of this changed how the most powerful man in history faced every single day. It's a concept that seems almost too extreme, too radical, to be true, yet it's the key to unlocking a life of freedom and peace. The Stoics believed that suffering is not something to be avoided, but rather something to be embraced. It's a paradox that has puzzled many for centuries. How can something as painful and unpleasant as suffering be the key to happiness? The answer lies in the way we perceive suffering. We tend to view suffering as something that happens to us, something that we are victims of. But what if we were to turn this perspective on its head? What if we were to see suffering as an opportunity, as a chance to grow and learn? This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius did. He saw his own suffering, his own struggles and challenges, as a chance to practice his philosophy, to test his resolve and his character. And it's this perspective that we will explore in this video. What Marcus Aurelius wrote next in his journal is something most people are afraid to admit. One of the most famous quotes from Marcus Aurelius' Meditations is, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This quote encapsulates the Stoic view of suffering perfectly. It's not about avoiding obstacles, but about using them as stepping stones to success. It's not about escaping pain, but about using it as a catalyst for growth. The Stoics believe that we are not just passive recipients of suffering, but active participants. We have the power to choose how we respond to suffering, to choose how we perceive it. And it's this choice that determines whether suffering will be a source of growth or a source of stagnation. Marcus Aurelius practiced this philosophy every day, reminding himself that he was not just a victim of circumstance, but a creator of his own destiny. He saw that his own suffering, his own struggles, were not things to be feared, but things to be utilized. The next lesson is the one Seneca considered the hardest, and the most necessary. So, how can we apply this philosophy to our own lives? How can we use suffering as a catalyst for growth? The answer lies in the way we perceive ourselves. We tend to identify ourselves with our thoughts, our emotions, and our physical bodies. But what if we were to see ourselves as something more? What if we were to see ourselves as a spark of the divine, as a droplet of the infinite? This is the Stoic view of the self. It's a view that sees the individual as a part of a larger whole, as a thread in the intricate tapestry of life. And it's this view that allows us to transcend suffering, to see it as something that is not just happening to us, but something that is happening for us. What comes next is the practice the Stoics hid from most people. So, what is this practice? It's a practice that involves embracing suffering, rather than avoiding it. It involves seeing suffering as an opportunity, rather than a threat. And it involves using suffering as a catalyst for growth, rather than a source of stagnation. This practice is called negative visualization. It involves visualizing oneself in a state of suffering, and then using that visualization as a catalyst for growth. It's a practice that requires courage, resilience, and determination. But it's a practice that can lead to profound transformation, to a deeper understanding of oneself and the world. By practicing negative visualization, we can learn to see suffering as a chance to grow, rather than a source of pain. We can learn to use suffering as a stepping stone to success, rather than a stumbling block. So, what is the idea that I promised to share at the end of this video? It's an idea that has the power to transform your life, to help you see suffering in a new light. It's an idea that Marcus Aurelius practiced every day, and it's an idea that you can practice too. The idea is this: suffering is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. It's not something to be avoided, but something to be utilized. By seeing suffering as an opportunity, rather than a threat, we can use it as a catalyst for growth. We can use it to become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. So, I invite you to subscribe to our channel, to join us on this journey of self-discovery and growth. Let's explore the Stoic view of suffering together, and let's learn to use it as a catalyst for transformation. If these words gave you strength today, subscribe. New Stoic wisdom every single day. The best is yet to come.